Welcome back to my studio. Today we're going to continue with our basics of portrait lighting with two lights. So previously we looked at how a single light can be moved around your subject in order to create different shape and lighting effects. Today we're going to be adding a second light for a two light setup. We are going to be using LED panel lights, so I want to thank GVM for providing a few of those for us today. I do recommend LED lights if you're learning how to do lighting, because hot lights, tungsten bulbs, just as the name implies, they get really hot and uncomfortable for long periods of time. And then flash, you don't have the modeling light to see the effect before you pop that flash. And strobes are just expensive, so until you get a handle on the lighting effects, I wouldn't put a lot of money into some of that equipment. So LEDs give you nice cool temperature. You can adjust them in a variety of different ways, such as the GVM 880 RS panel lights that we're going to be using today. So I want to thank them for giving us a few, and we'll look and see how they work. So before we look at adding a second light, let's just take a quick look at some of these panel lights and their features, and then we'll get right into the meat of it. In addition to selling these lights individually, you can get these in a 2-light kit or a 3-light kit with power cords and light stands, as well as the case. These lights come with multiple chips in them for white, going from 5600K down to 3200K. These lights do also have an HSI setting, allowing you to change to any color in the rainbow spectrum. And as you can see, they are a separate chip from the white and yellow setting. We are able to control our mode from rotating through to slave mode should we use two lights with the same setting. Master mode if you want to control the light individually. Or app mode if you want to use the app on your phone. You can only control one light on the app at a time, unless you're using slave mode to set multiple lights to the same setting. You can use batteries. It takes 2 batteries of the L mount type or hardwired like I have here. 1, 2, 3. So we have the first light set up just like we did in the one light video, where we're using kind of the Rembrandt style, so 45-degree angle to the model, a little bit higher to give that kind of triangle light under the cheek. We have a second light set up right behind him, again probably about a 45-degree angle, and shining towards the back or side of his head, so we've got this rim light down the side. So let's take a quick shot of that. And that's a good basic 2-light setup. It just separates him from the background, and it gives good key light on the face. Now from here you can do a variety of different things and still just use the 2 lights. The first thing we're going to do to change this up is we're going to drop this light and turn it around, so we're going to light the background and not him. And so we're going to separate him from the background by having the background lit. And because these lights give us color options, and I'm using a neutral background, we can change the colors and create just a very different portrait effect. So let's go ahead and set that up. Got hot in here all of a sudden. Because it's Joseph.
Hot and bothered.
All right, so here we are. The light is directly behind him. It's shining onto the paper, and I've got it set up with a yellow color at the moment, but I am using the app so I can change the color. So let's just try a few different, since he has sort of a neutral brownish shirt, we might find a color that either complements or conflicts with that and see what we come up with. So let's take the first shot here. And let's change some color, and we may look and see if maybe we need to bring some fill in on the shaded side. But let's first see what we like here. maybe more cool color. And maybe more in the green. So a lot of options here. The app makes it very, very easy. And of course I can change the brightness if I want to make that much more overwhelming. Right now though, with this current setting, we're looking at about 25%. And it's only about half a meter from the paper, so not too far. If we moved it further, then we could have a bigger spread, but we'd have to pump the power up in order to get the same sort of level of intensity. But let's go ahead and drop a fill in on this side and see if we can lighten the shadow side up just a touch. So still with just 2 lights, but now we can kind of fill this in. You can see in this one video camera how we're changing that. So we've got deeper shadows, a little bit closer, but keep it just out of camera for your still camera. All right, so now that we have 2 lights set up, key light background light versus key light hair light, let's actually set up 2 side equal lights. There's a very popular lighting of 2 lights on either side of your subject. It's really used quite a bit in sports portraits. And I know Joseph here, he's an F1 racing fan, so we can at least say he's a spectator athlete. I don't know. We'll go with that. Have you done any sports, Joseph? I'm gonna say no.
I think golf for a bit.
Golf for a bit. There we go.
My dad made me play some golf for a couple times. I mean, I went to Top Golf and I like beat all my friends, so worth it there.
Does Mario Golf count?
Mario Kart counts.
Mario Kart counts. There we go. So he and I are on the same level of athleticism, and that is the Mario Kart. All right, so right now I've got this light set up just as a master setting, so it's not going to be doing anything. We're at 37%, 5500. So I'm going to make the other light match because it's on the app. You can make them slave settings. Let's actually do that real quick. We've got the app. Let's make this one a slave. All right. Oh, it's on the wrong channel. There we go. There. So now that they're on the same channel, and this one's marked as slave, whenever I use this one on the app, the other one will match color and intensity. So let me get them the same color, 5500. Let's take that back down to 25%. And we'll move things around.
Do I need to do a sports pose?
Maybe. Okay. So with this lighting, what's used quite a bit is 2 lights equal distance apart from the subject, just slightly behind the subject pointing towards them. So you can see we've got the light coming down the side on that side, this side, and we're just letting the features on the front fill. You can move those around a little bit if you want a little bit more side, but usually what's used with this is something about like that. You can then use the barn doors to flag the background if you don't want those getting too much light. There we go. Okay, so let's take a shot of this. See how that looks. And because he's lit from behind-ish, let's see if that is good exposure. Let's actually take that brightness up a little bit. So we're at 25%. Let's go up to 35. There we go. And we're not blowing out too much on the highlight. As we should be able to bring that down in our software if need be. So this is a very common kind of masculine portraiture style. Let's do something a little bit more cinematic, because that's one of the great things about these lights. When you can change the color, you can make them a little bit more movie tone. So let's put one behind him again, but this time we're going to set it up where it's kind of lighting him, sort of like a hair light. We'll have him a little bit further back. And let's see. Yeah, we'll leave it about that height. So it's about shoulder height. I'm going to keep it on the app at the moment, but I'm going to take the other one off slave because I want to control it independently. So we'll change it back to master mode. And this one we're going to move a little bit more in front of him, kind of opposite the other light. So not quite full flat lighting. Let me make sure it's not in my still camera view. Yep, starting to get there a little bit. So let's move it off to the side just a touch. So with this, what we're going to do is change our color. So this first one, we're going to change to color, and we're going to make this a cyan. We can bring that intensity back down to 25. And this back one, we're going to change to a warm color. And we're going to take that down to 25. And when I say 25, I mean 25% brightness. We can change it up higher if we want to use higher or faster shutter speeds. Right now we're shooting at about f2 for shallow depth of field and a 50th of a second. Let's see where we're at here. Yeah, let's go up in power on both of these a little bit. We'll go up to 50. Sorry, just whoops, changing my color. Okay, and then this one we're going to bring up to about 50% as well. And I'm making him look right into that bright light, sorry. All right, and there we go. And so what we're getting with this sort of lighting is very similar to like TV shows and movies. When you have the character standing in, say, a doorway of a building at night, you'll have the warm light from the inside. It comes in very yellow and orange, lighting them from behind. And then to mimic the night or street light, they have a very cyan color. You can make that the exact opposite, as though they are looking into the building standing outside. Let's change this hue to orange. Eventually we'll get there. There we go. Now we got a warm light for the skin, and we've got the and I kind of mid smile. We'll do another one. And so here we just have the opposite. So it's like he's looking, say, like a neon light out on the street, and then we've got just the cold light behind him of the night. And so a lot of movies and TV shows will light things similar to this. You can change them if you're going for that kind of look. You can change that to different color neons. Don't look straight at the light. You're gonna blind yourself. We'll make it more magenta. So you can imagine he is out on the streets in Tokyo or some seedy part of New York or something like that. So two lights, very easy to set up for that. These LEDs are nice, so you can change those colors. If you're using flash, you can do the same thing with just gels. This just gives you the ability to dial in a specific color without the use of combining gels or going out and buying more. So again, we are sitting at about f2 at 50th of a second. We're at 50% power for both, and we can ramp that up to 100 if he doesn't mind being blinded for a moment. But then we can increase our depth of field or increase our shutter speed. as needed. Especially if you're shooting film and you have a set shutter speed or a film speed like 160 for Portra 160 or Velvia 50 or something like that. Oh yeah, I guess I should probably tell you I'm at ISO 100. That information is probably important. I could go faster, but my camera's older and will pick up a lot of digital noise that way. So just a few different things you can do with a couple of different lights. Move them around, see what kind of effects you can get. These lights, as I said, are pretty great because you can change color and intensity with the app, make them slave together, move them independently. So I want to thank GVM for sending these to me. I want to thank you all for watching, and we'll see you next time. Oh, and thanks Joseph, because he did come all the way out here to my studio to help me out today. So we'll see you next time.